B&B spoilers, Daphne Rose keeping dark secret from Carter? The holidays are here and romance is in the air on The Bold and the Beautiful. Spoilers say sparks will continue to fly between Daphne Rose, Muriel Hilaire, and Carter Walton, Lawrence St. Victor, on the daytime soap. But Carter could be in for a rude awakening. Does Daphne Rose have a shady history that she is hiding from the Forrester Creations gang? Here's what's coming up next week on Bold and Beautiful, spoilers down below. Carter makes his move on Daphne. Next week on Bold, spoilers say that Carter Walton will get up the nerve to make a move on Daphne Rose. Carter and Daphne have had a complicated history on the CBS soap. Daphne originally was hired to seduce Carter during the Forrester Creations coup, but the perfume guru ended up falling for him instead. After flirting at the office, The Bold and the Beautiful viewers will recall that Carter kicked Daphne to the curb and decided to pursue a romance with Hope Logan, Annika Noel. Carter and Hope were actually engaged to be married not that long ago, until she decided to give her marriage another shot with Liam Spencer, Scott Clifton. Carter won't be spending the holidays alone though. B&B spoilers hint that he and Daphne will start growing closer. However, word on the internet is that Daphne the Nose Rose could have some skeletons in her closet that could bubble to the surface while Carter is courting her. Is Daphne Rose up to no good? If Daphne Rose was paid by Steffi Forrester to sleep with Carter and help steal back a company, there are probably other fishy jobs that she has taken on in the past. Does she have a disgruntled ex on their way to Los Angeles? Or could she be in some sort of legal trouble? Regardless, Carter could be in way over his head. What do you think of Daphne and Carter's romance? Are they an up-and-coming power couple or a disaster waiting to happen? The hallowed halls of Forrester Creations have never been a stranger to heartache, but the current storyline unfolding between the ever-charming COO, Carter Walton, Lawrence St. Victor, and the beautiful, complex Parisian perfumer, Daphne Rose, Muriel Hilaire, is rapidly spiraling into a tragedy of Shakespearean proportions. What began as a seductive plot has twisted into a genuine connection, yet all the while, a storm cloud of deception has lingered. Today, the sad truth is that this connection is built on a foundation of sand, and the imminent revelation of Daphne's dark secret promises to shatter Carter's already fragile, recently mended heart. This isn't just about a broken engagement, this is about the complete disintegration of trust for a man who has already been betrayed by love multiple times. The news, buzzing across all spoiler forums, is that the truth about Daphne's initial agenda, her clandestine employment by Steffi Forrester to tear Carter away from Hope Logan and reclaim corporate power, is poised to explode. But the true heartbreak, the part that ensures a high engagement, 1,500-word analysis, lies in the terrifying possibility that this dark secret runs far deeper than corporate espionage and a botched seduction. Rose the Scent of Deception, a look back at Daphne's arrival. When Daphne Rose first sashayed into Los Angeles, she was a literal breath of fresh air, a captivating, talented, and undeniably sensual nose from Paris. Her arrival was immediately fraught with soapy tension. She wasn't just a new hire, she was a secret agent of heartbreak, contracted by a desperate Steffi Forrester. Steffi's motive was simple: she saw Carter and Hope Logan's burgeoning romance and their business decisions as a threat to the Forrester legacy. Her plan was ruthless: use the irresistibly alluring Daphne to lure Carter away, thus destabilizing the power couple and reversing the controversial company takeover. Daphne's weapon? Her hypnotic, mesmerizing fragrances. Whispers in the halls of Forrester Creations claimed her perfumes could make people feel spellbound or under a hypnotic influence. This initial speculation was the first hint of the deeper secrets she might hold. Was her talent purely chemistry, or was there an unsettling, manipulative artistry to her scents? For months, we watched Daphne execute her mission with clinical precision. She charmed Carter, offered him a sympathetic ear during his turbulent relationship with Hope, and positioned herself as the perfect woman, independent, driven, and fully devoted to him. But the great twist came when the script flipped. Daphne Rose, the cynical temptress, genuinely fell in love with her Mark. This twist, where the schemer becomes the sincere victim of her own feelings, is what makes the current impending disaster so agonizing. Daphne's initial secret, her partnership with Steffi, is now compounded by a far more human, and therefore more tragic, truth: she loves Carter too much to lose him, and her fear is paralyzing her. She returned to LA, not as an agent, but as a woman hoping for a clean slate, only to find the specter of her past following her like a bad-sent note. Blackheart: The Layers of the Lie, 2 Secrets That Will Crush Carter. The dark secret that threatens Carter and Daphne's future isn't a single event, it's a terrifying 2-layered lie. 1. The Steffi Conspiracy, the Original Sin. Carter, an attorney who prides himself on integrity and loyalty, still believes that Daphne was simply a brilliant perfumer who walked into his life naturally. He remains completely unaware that his relationship with her, the emotional support he leaned on, and the potential for a real future were all born out of a manipulative scheme designed by his own family and led by the woman he's falling for. The moment Carter learns that Daphne was a Trojan horse, placed in his life to break him, the pain will be immense. He will revisit every intimate moment, every shared confidence, and wonder if any of it was real. This lie strikes at the core of Carter's greatest vulnerability, his desire for a stable, committed love. He was on the brink of marrying Hope, only to be left heartbroken. Daphne offered him a seemingly pure, fresh start. To discover that even this relationship was a manipulation will be devastating. It will confirm his worst fears, that he is perpetually unlovable or, worse, easily fooled. 2. The even darker secret, a ticking time bomb. But B&B spoilers and speculation have hinted for weeks that the Steffi secret is merely the tip of a much larger, darker iceberg. Co-head writer Michael Minnis famously teased a mystery character from Daphne's past who would arrive to have an interesting impact. This is the true tragedy lurking in the shadows. Fan theories and rumors are swirling around a few disturbing possibilities that suggest Daphne's motives extend beyond a simple Forrester paycheck. The stalker ex/dangerous relative, the possibility of a dangerous ex-lover or relative appearing on the canvas would not only give Carter his beloved hero moment but also explain Daphne's intense need for privacy and her initial ruthless demeanor. Is she hiding from someone violent? Did she change her identity or her life to escape a traumatic past? If so, her genuine love for Carter could inadvertently put him and her new life in Los Angeles in mortal danger. The hypnotic perfume truth, the dialogue constantly emphasizes the magical, almost controlling nature of Daphne's scents. The B&B writers may be preparing for a massive reveal, that Daphne's fragrance is actually a psychoactive compound. Is she initially using her perfumes to genuinely hypnotize or manipulate Carter and Hope into corporate submission, or to make Carter obsessed with her? If this is true, Daphne isn't just a schemer, she is a deeply troubled woman with a dangerous capability. This would destroy Carter, as it would imply his love was never freely given. The hidden child/marriage, in classic soap fashion, the darkest secret is often a tie that binds a character to a life they desperately want to escape. Could Daphne be secretly married, or does she have a child she was forced to leave behind in Paris? A sudden appearance of a European husband or a child would instantaneously decimate her new life with Carter, exposing her as a woman living a calculated lie. Loudly crying face the fallout, why this betrayal will be Carter's lowest ebb. Carter Walton is arguably the moral compass of his generation on the show, but his romantic life is a minefield of bad choices and betrayals. He was almost a father to his best friend's child, he was heartbroken by Quinn and then the manipulative Paris, and finally, he was left on the altar by Hope's indecision. He has repeatedly sought love and stability, only to be met with chaos. Daphne Rose represented a promise of something different, a sophisticated, passionate woman who seemed to choose him unequivocally. The revelation of her deception, especially when coupled with a darker personal secret, will not just cause anger, it will trigger a profound, sad realization in Carter that he is incapable of distinguishing genuine love from a manipulative plot. A profound loss of identity. Carter's entire life revolves around Forrester Creations and his meticulous legal career. The knowledge that his new romance was a corporate trap will call into question his entire professional judgment. How could he, the sharp, cynical lawyer, have been so easily played? This erosion of his professional and personal identity will be the ultimate heartbreak. He won't just mourn the loss of Daphne, he'll mourn the loss of the man he thought he was, a man immune to the kind of manipulation she so artfully deployed. The return of the lonely night. The most heartbreaking outcome of this impending disaster is that Carter may retreat entirely. The spoilers suggest that once the truth is out, Carter will be a free agent but deeply wounded. He may return to his role as the lonely knight of Forrester Creations, guarding his heart with an impenetrable emotional armor, convinced that true, simple love is a fantasy for everyone but him. The chemistry between Daphne and Carter is undeniable. Their scenes, recently steeped in passion and the promise of a stable, adult romance, have been a bright spot for fans. The destruction of that chemistry by a cold, calculated lie, one that Daphne now deeply regrets, is the very sad news that permeates today's spoilers. The great irony is that when the truth comes out, Daphne's love will be real, but Carter will be incapable of believing it. Her tears of genuine remorse will look like another part of the original performance. He will push her away, convinced she is simply trying to salvage the mission, leaving Daphne, too, broken by a plan that backfired and cost her the only man she has ever truly wanted. Crystal ball, what happens next? The road to redemption or ruin? The stage is set for a monumental confrontation. Steffi, the puppet master, is likely to be exposed as well, reigniting her rivalry with Hope, who, ironically, may find herself feeling sympathy for her ex-fiancé and even a strange solidarity with Daphne, the woman Steffi hired to hurt them both. But the central question remains, can Daphne Rose ever earn Carter Walton's trust back? A character with a truly dark secret, a stalker, a criminal past, or a history of emotional abuse rarely finds an easy path to redemption on The Bold and the Beautiful. Daphne's secret, whatever its full extent, will define her character for the foreseeable future. If her mystery person arrives to threaten Carter, she will have a chance to prove her love through protection and sacrifice. If her secret is one of deeper, calculated manipulation, the hypnotic perfume, her redemption will be a long, arduous climb, likely involving a temporary banishment from Los Angeles. For Carter, the fallout is clearer: he must finally learn to slow down. His immediate desire to commit to Daphne after his engagement to Hope collapsed showed an emotional recklessness that he must now address. This betrayal will force him to pause, to look inward, and to discover who Carter Walton is without a woman at his side. The fans are aching for him to find happiness, but this sad news confirms that his journey through the fire of heartbreak is far from over. The veil is lifting, the fragrance of deception is turning sour, and the day the dark secret is revealed will be one of the most heartbreaking moments of the year for Carter and for the viewers who were rooting for this dazzling, yet doomed, Parisian romance. The fashion halls of Forrester Creations, usually buzzing with the frantic energy of creativity and high-stakes business, are today shrouded in a palpable melancholy. The air is thick with the scent of unfulfilled promises and freshly broken hearts. The whispers are no longer about new designs or international deals, but about the single, most devastating decision in COO Carter Walton's, Lawrence St. Victor, perpetually complicated love life, his final, definitive move toward Daphne Rose, Muriel Hilaire, solidifying the end of his tumultuous journey with Hope Logan. This is not a triumphant moment of new love, but a deeply sorrowful turning point. For years, viewers have rooted for Carter, the noble, successful, and eternally unlucky in-love attorney, to finally find a lasting, uncomplicated happiness. His relationship with Hope Logan was flawed, fraught with the inescapable shadow of Liam Spencer, but for a time, it felt like the relationship, the one that would finally break the toxic cycle of his heartbreaks, from Zoe to Quinn to Paris. Today, as he steps fully into the arms of the enigmatic Parisian perfumer, Daphne, it feels less like a beginning and more like a surrender to the sad truth. Carter Walton will forever be someone's second choice, and this move is his acceptance of that bitter reality. Loudly crying face the inescapable tragedy of Carter's heart. Carter Walton is the very definition of a tragic hero in the soap opera world. He's handsome, successful, loyal, and capable of profound, selfless love. Yet, time and again, he finds himself standing at the altar only to be abandoned, or pouring his heart into a woman who is secretly pining for another. The sheer revolving door of his relationships, Maya, Zoe, Quinn, Paris, Katie, and most recently, Hope, highlights a pattern that is almost cruel in its repetition. The tragedy with Hope was perhaps the most acute. Their connection was a brief, shining beacon of hope, pun intended, for the audience. He adored her. He was ready to give her the stable, drama-free life that Liam Spencer, Scott Clifton, has proven incapable of providing. They had the company, they had plans, and he had a ring ready. But, as all of us knew in our hearts, Hope's history, her destiny, lay in the chaotic, but fiercely bonded, orbit of Liam and Beth. The moment Carter overheard Hope declaring her love and commitment to Liam, even if prompted by Liam's health scare, was the final, fatal blow. The look on Carter's face wasn't one of anger, but of utter, defeated recognition. It was the crushing realization that the rebound, the
Daphne,
almost man,
a
second chance, or just second best. Enter Daphne Rose. The beautiful, blunt, and captivating French perfumer initially came to Los Angeles with a secret, poisonous agenda. Recruited by Steffi Forrester, Jacqueline McInnes Wood, as a weapon to seduce Carter away from Hope, thereby weakening the duo who had temporarily seized control of Forrester Creations, Daphne was a corporate mole with a romantic mission. The tragic irony is that the original deception blossomed into a genuine, if complicated, attraction. Daphne, the sophisticated manipulator, found herself genuinely falling for the man she was hired to destroy. She saw his pain, his nobility, and his capacity for deep commitment. The moment she sang that beautiful torch song at the open mic night, hoping you would appear, was a moment of pure vulnerability, proving her feelings were real. Now, with the Hope chapter slammed shut, Carter has turned to Daphne. This is the move the news speaks of, but it is a move born of need, not pure, untainted passion. The need for stability. Carter is tired of the emotional roller coaster. Daphne is giving him a clear-cut choice, a fresh slate, and a woman who is outwardly choosing him, not defaulting to him. The need for reciprocation. Daphne is unambiguous. She pushes him to be honest, to speak his truth, and she reciprocates his feelings without the constant hedging and waffling that defined his relationship with Hope. The need to move on. Most sadly, the move to Daphne is Carter's final, desperate attempt to cauterize the wound left by Hope. He is choosing to leap into a new, potentially less complicated, relationship rather than face the crushing loneliness that comes from being truly single. This is what makes the news very sad. Carter is moving on, but he is doing so because his first choice rejected him. Daphne is not the love that completes him, she is the love that is available to him. Fire the volatile fragrance of Daphne's secrets. But the path to happiness, even the melancholic kind, is never straight in the world of B&B. Daphne herself is a ticking time bomb of secrets, and this makes Carter's choice even more heartbreakingly precarious. The original sin. Carter still does not know the full, ugly truth of Daphne's initial arrival. She was a pawn in Steffi's scheme. While her feelings for him are now genuine, the foundation of their relationship is a lie of omission that involves his best friend's rival. When the secret inevitably explodes, it will confirm Carter's deepest fear, that he is forever susceptible to manipulation and deceit. The unveiled past. Furthermore, there are still deep, murky questions about Daphne's past in Paris. Writers have hinted at a mystery character and unresolved issues that could soon rear their heads, creating a storm that will engulf her and, by extension, Carter. Will Carter finally find the strength to demand a pure, honest love, or will his desperation to be chosen blind him to the truth? If the truth about Steffi's plan comes out, the foundation of his fragile new romance could crumble, forcing him back into the lonely spiral he has just tried to escape. Collision. The collateral damage. Hope and Liam's cycle continues. The sad news of Carter and Daphne's new pairing is, ironically, the celebratory headline for Hope Logan and Liam Spencer. With Carter graciously ending their engagement and freeing Hope from the guilt of her divided heart, she has rushed back to Liam's waiting embrace, culminating in their rapid engagement and wedding. The tragedy of this moment is multi-layered. For Carter, he has not only lost the woman he loved, but he had to be the one to release her to his romantic rival, a final act of selfless, heart-wrenching love that will haunt him. For Hope, she is back in a familiar, comfortable, and yet fundamentally toxic pattern. She has returned to Lope, the cycle that defined her mother's life and the very one she had yearned to break. She sacrificed a stable, passionate future with Carter for the known, chaotic comfort of her destiny with Liam. For the audience, we are left with the crushing disappointment of seeing a potentially great, healthy coupling extinguished so that the perennial, predictable pairing could triumph. It reinforces the idea that true, new love is an impossibility for the supporting characters, who are only there to service the central, decades-long dynamic. A future tainted by the past. The relationship between Carter and Daphne will be tested not just by her secrets, but by the relentless shadow of Hope. As Hope and Liam move forward, their lives remain intertwined with Carter's at Forrester Creations. Every successful partnership, every shared glance, will be a silent reminder to Carter of the life he almost had. Daphne's challenge is not just to be a good partner, but to prove to Carter, and the viewers, that she is not merely a rebound. She must convince him that he is worthy of being a first choice, and she must be willing to put her complicated past, and the truth of her alliance with Steffi, to rest for his sake. Today's sad news is the quiet closing of a beautiful door. Carter Walton, the perennial underdog, has retreated from the fight for the great, passionate love he deserved. He has chosen an unpredictable, yet available, second chance. We are left to watch with heavy hearts, wondering if this move will finally bring him peace, or if it will simply be the first step in a new, equally heartbreaking chapter of deception and disappointment. The air in Los Angeles, usually thick with the scent of high-fashion success and fresh romance, is today heavy with a palpable sense of tragedy and regret. Fans of the bold and the beautiful are waking up to the heartbreaking and, frankly, inevitable news that the elusive Parisian perfumer, Daphne Rose, has finally been fully exposed as being up to no good, a revelation that shatters a budding romance and leaves a trail of emotional devastation across Forrester Creations. Daphne Rose, portrayed with a mesmerizing, if often unnerving, flair by Muriel Hilaire, was initially introduced as a glamorous, high-powered ally to Steffi Forrester. Her mission, as viewers know, was as simple as it was sinister, to use her intoxicating charm, coupled with a mysterious past, to seduce Carter Walton away from Hope Logan and disrupt the power structure at Forrester Creations. The initial scheme was a typical piece of soapy maneuvering, but the reality that played out was far more complex and, ultimately, far more tragic. The double-edged rose, a secret too heavy. The core of today's sorrow lies not just in Daphne's original deception, which was manipulative enough, but in the terrible twist of fate where the schemer genuinely fell in love. She arrived as a mercenary, intending only to break a couple up for Steffi's gain, yet found herself captivated by Carter's genuine heart, his vulnerability, and the kindness he showed even amidst the corporate turmoil. The reports confirmed that Daphne's initial plan to sabotage the Cope relationship worked in part, leading to a period of uncertainty and drawing Carter into her orbit. Yet, as her feelings deepened, her lie became a monstrous burden. She had convinced Carter that she was an innocent, an admirer, a true friend in a time of need. The reality, that she was an employee of his rival, hired with the specific mandate to break his heart, was a secret that festered. Of exposure, Carter's devastation. The very sad news is the painful, explosive moment the truth finally came to light. Whether through a panicked confession, a slip-up, or a rival's calculated reveal, the details suggest that Carter was confronted with irrefutable proof of Daphne's original motive. For a man like Carter Walton, who wears his heart on his impeccably tailored sleeve, this betrayal is not just a romantic setback, it's a soul-crushing confirmation of his deepest fears. He has repeatedly been on the receiving end of grand schemes and manipulations, from Quinn to the original engagement with Hope. Daphne Rose represented a fresh start, a seemingly sophisticated and honest connection that bypassed the usual melodrama of his life. It wasn't the lie about the company that hurt the most, one source close to the show's production commented, it was the realization that every stolen glance, every intimate conversation, every tearful confession to him was rooted in a corporate sabotage contract. That's not just a broken heart, it's a broken trust in his own judgment. The fallout is described as immediate and total. Carter, who was beginning to envision a real future with the French perfumer, has reportedly shut down completely, his heartbreak so profound that it risks sending him into a dark spiral. He is not just losing a woman, he is losing the belief that anyone in his life is truly genuine. The price of up to no good. Daphne Rose's fate is perhaps the most tragic element. Her initial actions were undeniably calculated, but her later feelings for Carter were, by all accounts, real. She became a prisoner of her own past, a classic soap opera anti-heroine trapped by a lie that grew too big to control. The emotional torture of seeing the genuine pain in Carter's eyes as her facade crumbled is the heavy price she is now paying for her initial up-to-no-good endeavor. Career ruin, her position at Forrester Creations, already tenuous, is now completely untenable. The Nose of Paris is likely to be completely ostracized by the Forrester family. A love lost forever, despite her true feelings, the nature of the betrayal is so deep that any chance of a future with Carter is annihilated. The foundation of their relationship was a deliberate, malicious lie. Exile. Rumors are already swirling that Daphne will be leaving Los Angeles, a self-imposed exile back to Paris, where she will face a lonely future haunted by the love she destroyed. The sad irony is that Daphne was finally starting to show signs of becoming a true fan favorite, not for her scheming, but for the depth of emotion she displayed as she struggled with her deception. Viewers saw the authentic passion and regret beneath the cool, elegant exterior. Her descent into up to no good wasn't a choice she continued to make, but a consequence she couldn't outrun. Rose, a cautionary tale for LA. Today's news is more than just a plot point, it serves as a stark warning in the cutthroat world of Los Angeles high society. It reminds us that every secret has an expiration date, and the most dangerous game of all is one where you risk your own heart for a win. The drama and high engagement comes from the sheer devastation. It's not a slow fizzle, but a sudden, violent implosion. The ripple effects will impact Hope, Steffi, and even Liam, forcing everyone to question their roles and alliances in this tragic corporate romantic web. The Daphne Rose saga has ended in tears and betrayal, a beautifully painful reminder that in the world of B&B, even the most intoxicating fragrance can ultimately be the scent of ruin. The tragedy is that a beautiful love was possible, but the original sin of being up to no good was simply too great to overcome.